We are back with Father Greg with our Few in the Pew. So right into our first question is just that you spent some time just studying in Rome and learning. Can you tell us about that, what you were studying and how that impacted you?
Yeah, so for formation for the priesthood, there's philosophy studies and theology studies. So I spent philosophy in Minnesota studying. I studied theology in Rome. So very, very special time. We lived 15 minutes from where the Pope lives, so very close, in the heart of the church, right? And so that's the other kind of amazing thing, is to be able to study in a place where people from all over the world, Catholics from all over the world, would come, to visit. But you also really get to experience the history, right? The church in Rome is, really almost the oldest outside of Jerusalem, and so I said there's not many places where you can study the history of the church in the morning and go visit it in the afternoon, right? And so that was certainly a unique thing. Saints are buried all over the city, and so you walk into a random church and there's a saint buried there. So the lives of the saints kind of come alive, So yeah, there's that. I think another part of it too, which the community, right? I know people say, like, you study in Rome, it's amazing, and it is amazing, but the men I studied with, that community, that fraternity, that brotherhood, is probably one of the greatest gifts that I take away from this time there. I'm sure I could have gotten that fraternity almost anywhere else, but it was very formative for me in my kind of relationship with Christ. So,
awesome. Yeah. Well, so you mentioned in there just the lives of the saints, especially in Rome. So, do you have a few saints or one saint that you say is like your main go-to saint?
Yeah. So, Saint Margaret Mary Ellen Coke, who is the saint that Christ revealed his Sacred Heart to. So the devotion of the Sacred Heart, most churches you look in, there's an image of the Sacred Heart, but he revealed his Sacred Heart to St. Margaret Mary Ellen Coke. And while I was in Rome, I really grew in a deep love and appreciation for the Sacred Heart. To be honest, still to this day, I don't know that much about St. Margaret Mary Ellen Coke. I love the devotion, and because I love the devotion, I love her.
Nice. Yeah.
And so she's one I pray to on a daily basis. But otherwise, St. John Paul II would be another significant influence. St. John Marie Vianney, who is a patron saint of parish priests, would be another one. I would say those are. And then St. Agnes, she was only 13 years old when she died, but she was recognized as a very holy girl, and a ton of miracles were worked through her. That's why she became so famous, not because people knew her while she was alive. They knew her after she passed, and the amount of miracles that were worked through her intercession. So I keep her in my back pocket as well.
I feel like we could sit here all day and you could just keep rattling them off in different connections. So great, thanks for sharing that. And then my last question is just kind of more that into the deep. Just right now we're in what they call the phase one. Can you tell us about some of the purpose or the goals of phase one at this time?
Yep. So the big focus for this year is analysis to kind of observe, analyze kind of the state of affairs of the various parishes, and then trying to work on community, building community, bringing people together. And a practical part of that is going to be looking at some practical things. So looking at bringing the bulletin into one, so one mean of communication across the pastorate, getting the secretaries and bookkeepers together, so that they can kind of learn from each other. I've been meeting with the priests of the pastorate. I know you've already been working a little bit with the principals and some of the teachers. We've had an all-school mass, so we brought people together for that. And then, I've jumped into all the fall festivals of all the parishes of the pastorate. So it's kind of fun to see, that dynamic as well. And so, this first phase is really to analyze and to try to bring together some greater community.
Yeah, awesome. Get to know what's special about those individual church communities also. So you mentioned fall festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So this Sunday at St. Rose, what's going on there?
Yeah, it'll be the ham dinner. What is it, 11 o'clock to?
Yeah, 11 till 3 will be this Sunday at St. Rose.
Yeah, so come and fill your bellies.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you very much again for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.